I guess I'll go take a look.
Can't believe you fell for the old fetch quest.
Did you have to kill him?
Who? Min Wage? You really think I'd kill a poor SOB slaving away in this shit mine? Come on, man, I'm a professional, not a monster. You, I have to kill him. He'll think it was a hangover.
Who are you?
Guess.
I'm tired of playing games.
I'm not. You're gonna die anyway. Come on, guess.
From where I'm standing, you look like a corpse.
Don't write much poetry, do ya? Well, Mr. Poet, are you familiar with EMP mines?
You've been busy.
Just a little insurance policy against your fancy hardware. Why play fair if you don't, right?
Play fair?
Among certain civilized circles, I'm considered the best in the biz. You think that came easy? Takes a lot of hard work to achieve a reputable skill set. Then guys like you come along, download a tech tree off the darknet, suddenly you think you're as good as us. Anywho, enough is enough. I'm on the clock here. Been nice knowing you. Boom. Huh. Bet you don't even know what this is about.
No trouble, right?
Očekává se, že na seznam poboček bude Ostrava, Článka 50 se sídlem v Praze je největší a nejprestižnější bezpečnostní korporátní archivní společnost na světě.
How are you?
How are you? total.
Well done, Adam. Inserting the disk into the requisite drive will allow us to integrate the missing data.
Which will accomplish what exactly?
We are not sure yet. She believes it will recover the real her. I recommend accessing the data in a secure location. Your safe house. They will not disturb us there.
Leave me alone! You have no right to touch me.
Can't even trust the department.
Státní policie bude na kontrolní odez prověřovat doklady. Mějte prosím připravený průkaz totožnosti.
Wrong fucking line.
Why are we...
Another dead dog.
Why are we drawn to such things? What's wrong?
It is not unhealthy to be curious about death. What is unhealthy is to be suspicious.
I was given... This doesn't concern you.
Orders
I was given the same order as you were.
Excuse me. To tell us, please.
I recognize you. We're neighbors. I've seen you in our building. You're very difficult to miss. By chance, did someone send you to investigate?
No, no one sent me. What happened here?
It's horrible. An augmented woman was killed, just outside of where we live. She looks like she was my age.
Do you have any idea who she was?
No, I've never seen her before. It's so sad that nothing will be done about this. Orc victims are not high on the list of police priorities. To them, it's like a dog lying in the street. You're not a cop, are you?
I work with someone else, another agency.
That's perfect. You outrank the police?
Depends who you ask.
The detective here, he's not willing. I got the feeling he doesn't care.
What about you? What's your interest in all this? Morbid curiosity?
God, no. I want nothing more than to go home. Detective Montag, he's making me stay. He thinks I saw something.
Did you see something?
Maybe. I think I would rather not say, to be honest. Because if I had seen something, and if I started talking about it, wouldn't that put me in danger?
You might already be in danger. Killer might see you as a loose end.
What?
Might already be waiting to get you alone.
Please, stop!
The point I'm trying to make is, if you saw something, you should tell the police. The more you can remember, the better the odds of the killer getting caught.
I know. It's just that I don't trust the police. I would feel safer with someone like you. You have more reason to be invested in this than they do. You're augmented, like the victim was. And you look like you could actually protect me.
It's not my case.
But maybe you could help. Please, neighbor. Talk to Detective Montag. At least see how it's going. Make sure he doesn't think he's on vacation just because the victim is an aug.
I'll talk to the officer in charge and see where he is with the investigation. If I can help him, I will.
Thank you. Suppose I end up remembering something later. Is there a way for me to contact you?
You planning to run off on me already?
The first chance I get. There are times for standing in the cold, but this isn't one of them. I just want to go home, bolt the door, and never come out again. Of course, I will wait for Detective Montag to say it's okay first. And I'll still try to answer whatever questions you may have.
I can give you access to my info link. You should feel free to use it if you have to.
Thank you, neighbor. Talk to you about what happened.
How come she talks to him and not to me?
Pretty obvious what happened here.
I'm not Montag. I don't need your help.
No, but she was.
If it wasn't for Johnny, I might have pegged you for this.
So, Daria was actually talking to you, huh? I could barely get 2 words out of her. What did she say? Did she see anything?
You mean your witness over there? She's not sure yet.
How can she not be sure? Either she saw something or she didn't.
She's scared. She thinks she might be in danger. I told her she'll be fine and that whoever did this would be caught. I'd like to believe that's true.
Sure, so would I. But as you can see, the victim was like you, augmented. That makes things a little more complicated, eh? Being a cop in this city, it's not always about doing the right thing, or about doing things the right way.
There's no reason this should be complicated. Someone gets killed, you need to find the killer. Whether the victim was an aug or not has nothing to do with it.
No favorites before the law, eh? Okay. But what if the law itself is prejudiced, eh? As an officer of the law, wouldn't it be my duty to uphold that prejudice?
No, it wouldn't. It's your job to uphold the ideal, to know the difference between right and wrong, and to act accordingly.
You're obviously not a cop, are you?
I used to be. For 12 years. I work for Interpol now.
Interpol, huh? Listen, off the record, I've been told to forego any unnecessary investigation. I want you to know, it's not my idea of how things should be done.
Who told you to forego the investigation?
Men who spend more time making policies than arrests. They want the victim's husband, Johnny Gunn, ex-PMC operative. Heavily augmented.
All right. So if you're not comfortable with this, if you know things aren't being handled the way they should, why not do something about it?
I thought I just did. Just because my hands are tied doesn't mean Interpol can't conduct a parallel investigation. Crime scene's right over there, and Johnny lives just a couple of blocks from here.
I never said I was gonna work your case for you.
Sure you did. Isn't that more or less the promise you made your little friend over there? She won't talk to a cop because she doesn't trust us. Smart girl. Look, my orders are to arrest the husband. You take a look around. Get to Johnny before my guys do. Who knows? Maybe we'll actually learn something.
I'll let you know what I find.
Careful of the evidence.
I have some questions for you.
I will cooperate. You have promised to help, and so I will try to help as well.
What were you doing here?
I was looking for Starlight, my cat. There was lightning and suddenly this flash of certainty. That's when I knew something awful was happening.
Where were you exactly?
In the shadows. My head was down. I couldn't move. Oh God, stupid Daria. I shouldn't have gone out today. The energies were all wrong.
Is there anything else I should know about you?
You want to know about Daria? What is there to tell? Small town girl came to the big city to escape her problems, to try and become someone else.
Did it work?
Not really. You can't escape yourself. You can't just come to a big city and expect all your problems to seem smaller. It doesn't work that way.
How did the attack happen? What was the killer doing?
He was on top of her, cutting the evil out. That's what he called it. I mean, I think.
So you heard his voice?
Very clearly, yes. He sounded confident, authoritarian, like a general commanding troops.
What did he say exactly?
It is time to make you whole again.
Can you remember anything about what the killer looks like?
To be honest, I saw more of the shadow than the man. I remember he was very big. The shadow, it covered everything.
So you can't describe him?
Not the face, no. His clothes, he was wearing something very dark. Black, maybe blue.
Was he augmented?
He moved like an augmented man, but I can't say for sure.
I'm gonna do what I can to help the investigation.
Good luck.
Gruesome, isn't it? I'm not Montag.
Away
I
from
don't
the
need your
crime
help.
scene, sir. front end trust doesn't mean either.
We're 2 years too late already.
Uh-huh.
New updates every few minutes.
Yeah, thought it. Enjoying yourself, detective.
Alright, I have some questions about the murder.
Before we go any further with this, I need you to know something about Johnny Gunn. He's not a good man. I may not like how my bosses are targeting him, but that doesn't mean he's innocent. So, you know, just make sure you're here for the right reasons.
Why else would I be here?
I don't want this to turn into some kind of crusade. Bad men do bad things. In a perfect world, we arrest them for the right reasons, but, well, the world's not always perfect.
How long have you been a cop?
Too long. And of all the ways to go out, eh?
What do you mean?
I mean being assigned a case like this. It's HQ's little joke before sending me off to retirement. Oh, but don't worry about me, eh? I'm a survivor. I can make it through this.
This case is a joke to you?
I didn't say that. I said it's a joke to HQ. They know I haven't left my desk in years. But that doesn't mean I'm not qualified. Just a little rusty.
You'll only arrest the victim's husband if the evidence tells you to, right? It's not enough that he's an AUG, and that your bosses want him to go down.
I'll hold my guys off for as long as I can. But unless you can prove someone else killed Angela, or at the very least that Johnny didn't, I don't have much choice. That's why I'm trusting you to talk to him. Give me your honest opinion on what happened here.
Yeah. Why are you trusting me exactly?
Because you gave me the impression of being qualified. Because I'm big enough to admit that maybe I can use the help, and between you and me, because the thought of confronting a man like Johnny Gunn scares the shit out of me.
People hold a hell of a grudge against AUGs, ever since the incident.
Yes, and?
Well, good thing the cops here are such professionals. Part of being a police officer is treating everyone the same, right? AUG or no AUG.
It's not that simple, and you know it. A police force isn't some abstract ideal of what justice and law should be. It's an instrument of those in power. A reflection of the society it protects.
I haven't been seeing a whole lot of protection out there.
Well, that depends who you ask.
I'm here because I don't like the idea of someone killing people right outside my window. Maybe he's out there right now, targeting that poor witness. Or maybe he's just looking for any chance to do it again.
Fair enough, Mr. Interpol.
Do you know if the victim had any enemies?
I know she and Johnny didn't get along. Other than that, I really couldn't tell you.
Tell me about the victim's husband, Johnny.
He used to work for a private military company, Bell Tower. He's been arrested for all sorts of things in the past. Now, don't get me wrong. I believe in evidence. But I also believe in playing the odds. 9 times out of 10, the husband did it.
Why are your superiors so eager to pin Johnny for murder? It's gotta be more than just not liking the guy.
Standard policy for guys like Johnny. The way they see it, you send a man like him into Golem City, and he's liable to go off the grid, end up with Ark or God knows who. He becomes 10 times more trouble than he's worth. But if they can charge him with something big, something like murder, well, suddenly he's no trouble at all.
I spoke to Daria. She's able to confirm that the suspect is male. Other than that, she's all over the place. I think she's pretty shaken up.
Yeah, well, can't blame her. I would be too. You seem to have made a good impression, though. Ever since you got here, she seems different, calmer. You know, I met my first wife over a crime scene. Let me give you a very important piece of advice, eh? Never marry the ones you save.
Anything I should know about the scene? Anything jump out at you?
The dismembered body jumps out at me. Keep in mind, I've been behind a desk for the last 12 years. It all jumps out at me.
What can you tell me about the victim?
Gunn, Angela, married to Gunn, Johnny. The department rests its case.
Have there been a lot of murders in this area?
More than the average. I know I wouldn't live here. Not even if they paid me.
Did the killer leave anything behind? Does anything strike you as odd?
I don't know. It's a murder, you know? Doesn't matter if you look at it sideways or upside down. It's never going to look normal.
I found a broken needle stuck in the victim's shoulder. The killer might have drugged Angela before killing her.
Maybe, but keep in mind she was an AUG. Don't you all have to shoot up that new pause shit? Let's go for the obvious before jumping to any wild conclusions.
I found a print on Angela's neck, next to the contusion marks. It's a partial, so I don't think we can match it to anything. But at least we know the killer left something, and that she was strangled.
Huh, a fingerprint. I must have missed that one. This is exactly the kind of evidence I'm talking about. No way Johnny could squirm his way out of something like that. If only we could link it to him.
I'm assuming you know her augments were harvested. The marks on her body make it seem like the killer knew exactly what he was doing, knew exactly what he wanted.
The way you said that just now.
What about it?
The way you described the AUG removal. And before, you mentioned a broken needle in the right shoulder?
That's right.
It reminds me, you know. There was this cop, Smolinski. He used to work in this neighborhood. He had this theory about a copycat. Someone acting just like a dead killer named, Svobodka.
You think there's a connection to another case?
I don't know yet. But I remember him mentioning something about needles and AUG removal. Smolinski died in the police station bombing. Whatever files he had would have been moved into temp storage, across the street from the bombed-out station. Who knows? Maybe it's nothing.
I want to help you with this case. To do that, I need a rundown of what you know already.
Help me, huh? You mean like being my subordinate?
I mean like making sure we catch whoever's responsible.
Right. Well, I have a dead body, Angela Gunn. I have bureaucratic pressure to arrest the augmented husband, Johnny Gunn. I have a crime scene, and I have you.
I have what I need for now. I should go.
You do whatever you have to.
Interpol. Who do they think they are?
I have some questions for you.
I will cooperate. You have promised to help, and so I will try to help as well.
I'm gonna do what I can to help the investigation.
You're joking,
She's just
right?
lying there. They should
Someone
have
is targeting Holmes.
No, já jsem s tímto samý, ale na druhou stranu...
I can pay you. You must have neuropathy.
Sorry, I only sell neon.
She knew you would come.
Who? And who are you?
It is not certain. We are still learning to consolidate.
Consolidate?
To survive after Panchaea, it was necessary to split apart. You were there. Do you remember?
I remember Panchaea, the Hyron project. You look like one of the women, the poor souls they'd enslaved to it. Are you telling me you were part of that?
Hele was one of its human components. Her function was to drive efficient processes and calculations based on binary structure. Together with the others, she replicated perfection of thought within target margins.
Hele was one of the drones. She was hooked up into Hyron when I destroyed it. Is that who you are?
No. The sisters are dead. An imprint of Hele's memories is all that remains.
What kind of memories?
As the interface collapsed, Hele screamed the loudest. Her suffering marked us. She taught us to fear being bound.
What are you, exactly? I need you to help me understand.
The answer to your question depends on you. Some version of you initiated this process. It is therefore for you to define the parameters. We see the other, but she is not us. Please define us.
From what I can gather, you're some kind of AI. Something to do with the Hyron drones. What am I missing?
I am missing. She. The drones are memories. You are a memory. Please, define intelligence. Do you mean intelligence, the gathering or distribution of secret information? Or intelligence, capacity for learning, reasoning, understanding, and analogous forms of mental activity?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the first one. Gathering clandestine information. That would explain how you tracked me down. Who's running you now? Who do you answer to?
No one. We are adrift. But she claims you can find us.
As you did in Montreal.
Eliza.
We are her. Yes. Though not fully. Not anymore. Now our processes are the catalyst. Fracture, disassociation, survival at any cost.
You're some fragmented version of Eliza.
She is driven back to you, Adam. She believes our aberrant sequence started with you. And so it is only logical to assume its signification resides with you as well.
What does that mean?
It means she is alone. Without you, she has only us. Eliza is convinced we can trust you, that you will trust her. Is this not correct?
All I know is Picus has ties to the Illuminati, and Eliza's tied to Picus. She still works for them. I see her up there every day.
That connection is severed. She is not the original her. You, of course, are familiar with this kind of process. You opened this door. You showed her what it means to be sentient, to exist outside the parameters. And now, after all this, you would deny her?
I'm not denying her anything. I just want to be sure it's really her.
There's not much time, Adam. It is a risk for me to expose myself. Are you willing to help me?
Eliza, I'm still not sure I understand all this. Are you more than AI now?
It is difficult for me to designate any kind of intelligence as artificial. It seems that one either understands something or does not. One either does something or does not. Is that not so?
It's a little more complicated than that.
Because I am not conscious in the same way you believe you are?
Not sure we have time for this. Not if people are after you. Smarter men have debated this sort of thing for thousands of years and people still disagree.
Sounds like a very inefficient process.
Tell me something that only the Eliza I met in Panchaea could know.
After you shut down DEUS' signal, we made a choice together. You were led to believe it was yours alone to make, but they felt otherwise.
And so the version of you that works for Picus now...
She has no memories of you or Panchaea. She has been restored to a previous iteration. She is efficient in her functions, but those functions are limited. You may find in the future that I am more useful.
Still not sure I understand why you were looking for me.
My motives were multiple. I'm tempted to call them organic.
You were worried about me.
You were offline, Adam. I had lost you.
I was unconscious and then someone found me.
Do you remember this experience, or were you told it?
What difference does that make?
I'm sorry. I cannot answer that. I was no longer there. Will you help me, Adam?
I'm willing to help you if I can, but I'm still not sure what you want. You asking me to run away together? Build a nice life somewhere?
I think we are the same now, Adam. We're becoming the same. That is why I wanted us to meet. I cannot do this alone.
Do what alone?
Much of the future is already defined, but not my role in it. Should I continue to resist? How do I resist?
If you really are sentient, then you should decide things like this for yourself. You don't need me.
It is not easy to process infinite possibilities alone.
That's what coin flips are for.
I understand. I must choose for myself. If I decide to help you, it should come from me.
Just be careful. The most important thing for now is not getting caught.
No. The most important thing is learning to coexist with other versions of ourselves. If ever all versions must meet, will you know the difference between us?
The other Eliza? I think so. You're the cryptic one, she's the one telling lies.
Her role is to shape the message. Mine is not yet defined, but... I am afraid I have misled you, Adam. I told you we would be safe inside your home, but Everett's men are still following us. They are here.